Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Rachel from Precision Empowered Health. Happy January, everyone. And today, I am talking about a pretty needed topic because it's January, which means it's winter, and everyone is getting sick. My mom told me last week that Denver is having a huge virus crisis right now, and everyone's getting sick. So this is something I've been talking about all day at work this week, just helping people that are either sick or they don't want to be sick. So we're going to be doing a deep clinical dive into the immune system today, so that you can just up-level whatever you normally do to prevent illness, or when you get sick, what to do when that happens. So if this is the first time you're catching me live, please say hello. Feel free to interact and ask your questions, and I will do my best to answer whatever you have that's going on with you. All right. So first of all, let's just cover the easy, obvious things when you get sick. So first of all, sugar has to go down. I know all of you know this, but there's clinical reasoning behind that, not just that sugar is bad for you. They've actually done studies when people eat sugar, and then they can actually see that their white blood cells, the defenders and the soldiers of your immune system, slow down and get really complacent. What that actually means is when you eat that sugar, instead of being vigilant and fast and on top of things, your soldiers of your immune system, your white blood cells, they just start to slow down. Their movement patterns decrease. And what happens is they start to just get really complacent. So viruses, bacteria, parasites can just go waltzing by. And instead of being aggressive, they just go, okay, whatever. So that's not a good thing when you're about to get sick. Secondly, you want to make sure, of course, the water intake is really, really good. And this is when my mantra of filter or become the filter becomes critical. And this is just true. A lot of people these days have this thing against filtering your water and drinking, eating organic food, and it's because it's more expensive. And while I can certainly respect that frame of thought, especially when it comes to your finances, that's not a good place to hinge your decisions on, because we live in a really unique age where you have to pay more money for less crap. It's crazy. So you have to pay more money for organic food, which means less chemicals added to your food. Yeah, I know, it's almost not fair. Back then they just called it food, and now we have to call it organic food, right? There's countries that still don't use the same kinds of chemicals that we do in the US, and they just call it food. There's no organic food. Hello, Justina. Jennifer, hi. All right, this is great. This is gonna be fun. And so unless you filter what's incoming into the body, your body takes on that load, and then you have to filter it. And there are whole classes of chemicals these days that are not well studied. These hang out in our cosmetics and our lotions, our shampoos, our building projects, our paints. And there's classes of these chemicals that if you get them into your body these days, there's no known detoxification route. And that is one topic we're going to be talking about today. The ability your body has to get the crud out equals your health now and long term. Justina says, yes, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. So as we go into my triple threat protocol today, you've got to have these baseline items really solid. If you're getting a bunch of chemicals in your daily life, either you've got plug-in air fresheners that are just puffing out all these chemicals, and you're, instead of relaxing and detoxing at home, you're just getting toxicity through your lungs. That's not going to work out for you. You're not going to have a good fighting chance of getting your immune system and having it strong, right? So sugar, water, basic things. Now let's actually talk about my triple threat when it comes to supplements, because I know most of you know the basic things. It's just a reminder as to what you need to do, okay? So with supplementation, there is science behind all of this, and all of my clinical patients have been doing some kind of supplement regimen to strengthen their immune system, and this started for them back in November. Amelia says, what about ionic foot detox baths? I don't know a lot about the science between foot baths, there's a lot of things that I do personally and that I do recommend to my patients to do when it comes to helping with their immune system and their protocols. But I make a very clear delineation between what is scientifically studied and what is just an amazing adjunct to do to take care of yourself. So for me at the moment, because I don't have a lot of science behind it, because the people who do ionic foot baths will say you can get heavy metals out, you can detox from your liver. I don't really know how much science and third-party clinical studies have been done to show that that's actually what's happening. And so I know there's a lot of things that have been written about it. I have actually gotten my own ionic foot baths before, and I've read the pamphlets while I was getting my foot bath done, but not a lot of that pointed to actual good third-party studies that actually tested what was coming out in the water. So as an adjunct, amazing. As a, like, it's gonna detox you and help your immune system, I don't really know. Probably, but I can't say that from the medical perspective, which is what I'm trying to come from today. So I hope that was helpful. All right, so let's talk about my triple threat protocol for immunity. Again, if you're my private patient, you've probably already been doing a part of this unless there's something that was more important than that. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna actually push my camera back and I'm gonna bring my props on the camera. Da-da-da. Okay, so we're gonna go through all of this one step at a time, but the first thing that I wanna talk about has nothing to do with the actual protocol, but this is one way to very, very easily determine your immune system in terms of one very, very important mineral, which is zinc. So there's a taste test that I have my patients do. Now, this is not the end-all, be-all mineral test, but this is an important way to determine how your personal zinc levels are. All right, and so I'm gonna show you how to do the zinc taste test. This is something you can do at home yourself. You can go and get a solution of zinc yourself to determine your own body levels of zinc. All right, so this is a liquid zinc supplement. And what we're gonna do is, how you do this is you get a zinc solution. The one I use is from Biotics Research. It's a professional brand. And you want to get the zinc in your mouth and you want to taste it for about 10 to 15 seconds. And you want to assess the taste profile of what you have in your mouth. All right. So I'm gonna do the zinc taste test. I'm gonna walk you through what I'm doing. And then after that, you guys, if you guys wanna do it yourself and let me know what your status was, that's gonna be awesome, all right? So, because this is my personal bottle, I'm gonna just swig right from the glass. Okay, so I swallowed it after the taste really solidified in. And this is how the taste test goes. If the zinc tastes like pure water to you, there's no taste profile at all, then your zinc status is really, really poor. And from there, if the zinc tastes like dirty water or mineral water is how they say it, then your zinc the zinc in your body is fair, it's okay, it's medium okay. Jennifer says, does it taste metally? Yeah, so for me, it tasted very, very metallic. So when it tastes metallic or it's getting worse as you hold it in your mouth, then you have fair zinc status. And I've heard, I've never had this happen to me before, but if the zinc tastes like battery acid, where it's just really strong, really, really rough, then what that means is the zinc is really strong in your body. So the first time I did this taste test, I think it was probably 4 years ago, it tasted like water and I thought there was no way that it could taste like anything else. And as I've done the zinc taste testing with my own patient base, over the years, there's probably been only one person that had really strong, like a really strong reaction to the zinc. Everyone else is like, oh, it tastes like water, or just, you know, it's just dirty water, mineral water. And so those are just very fair and minor zinc tastes, all right? So that's the first part. So over the years, my zinc taste test has gotten stronger and stronger and stronger. So that means that I'm moving in the right direction. Now, I did that in two ways. Not only did I start taking more zinc as a supplement, but I also cleaned up my gut, because what that means is now I can actually absorb the zinc that is in my food better. So in my clinical perspective, when I do work with patients, I kind of like to do it in a most important to less important. example is I have a lot of patients that come in that are taking a variety of what I call micronutrients, right? So they're doing zinc and vitamin D, vitamin B, vitamin C. They're doing all these little adjunctive things because they're just trying to get their body in a healthier spot. But instead of just doing micronutrients, can we get the body to function in a way that when you eat good food, you can actually digest it and break it down and utilize it? So the first step for me is, instead of putting everybody on zinc, is to actually get people digesting their food. And most of my zinc improvements or zinc gains have been on working on my GI system, my digestion, getting rid of pathogens, and lowering inflammation, upping my digestive system, instead of just taking pure zinc. So Jennifer says, zinc is good for skin and acne. Totally true. Absolutely true. Zinc has hundreds of functions in the body. And I would say for the men that are going to be watching this video or listening on, or if you are a woman with a man in your life, this is extra important for guys because men lose zinc in their ejaculate. All right. And so that means every time a man ejaculates, they're losing this stuff. And most of us are low to begin with. So most guys that do a zinc test are going to have really barely there sensations and taste with the zinc. So for men, that's the exception, that I might just go and dose zinc from the get-go, even if we have priorities of other things that are important to do. All right. Jennifer says, I always know when I'm low because my skin breaks out. Yes, very true. So this zinc is more of a diagnostic test. Now, when I'm getting sick, I also will just drink the zinc. I'll hold it in my mouth and swish, 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 and swallow. That's kind of why a lot of zinc supplements are in a lozenge form. It's because you can actually get it through the mucosa of your mouth. But what I don't like about zinc lozenges is a lot of times they have sugar in it, and that's one step forward and 2 steps back. So you really want to balance it out. That's why I just do it with pure zinc. This way I don't get any of the sugar that's in the lozenges. All right? Okay. So now let's actually talk about the triple threat protocol. So the first thing that I'm doing right now, actually for myself, was because in the last few weeks, a lot of my patients have been sick or they've been around sick people. And so a lot of this immune stuff that I was doing was as a prep for myself so that I wouldn't get sick. So the first 2 supplements I'm going to be talking about in this protocol are more preventative supplements. It's what I take when November rolls around and my patients are getting sick, everyone else is getting sick, it's in the news, and so this is how I keep myself strong so that I don't go under the weather. All right, so first thing that I do in terms of my triple threat protocol is glutathione. Glutathione is what I call the mother of antioxidants. And we know that antioxidants are compounds that go and block damage or inflammation from happening. So glutathione is something that your body actually makes itself. And it acts kind of like a Superman, where it swoops in. And if there's damage, inflammation, oxidation happening, it'll actually go and donate one of its electrons and make the situation better. So it actually goes and sacrifices itself, loses a portion of itself to heal the situation and to heal the damage that's going on. So with the glutathione, this is a huge liver support. There's so much toxicity that's happening in the world today. We talked a little bit about that earlier with the cosmetic products and the lotions and the air and the food. It's literally everywhere. And about 1/3 of the population has improper genetics dealing with glutathione in their body in terms of making it and detoxifying your body out. And I think a big reason of that is because back when our human genes really solidified, we didn't have the hundreds of thousands of new chemicals that we're encountering today. And so we really didn't have a need for such a robust detoxification system. And human bodies haven't really evolved in a way to handle this in a better way. And so because of that, I think we're having a hard time. And so if our glutathione systems are flagging in our body, why not just take some and take care of the problem, right? And so as you go into supplementation, as you go into diet, before just going, oh, organic food is so expensive and I don't think it helps anyways, or, I get all my nutrition from food, I don't need to take supplements, you really want to speak from an educated place. If your food is perfect and you don't need supplements, you need to look at the quality of the food that you're getting, and is the quality of the food that you're having today of the same quantity and quality as before? it really isn't anymore for a variety of reasons. And so as you go into these decisions for yourself, make sure they come from an educated place, not just from some Vogue article that you read. All right? Okay, so glutathione. This is my favorite glutathione that I get. This is from Apex Energetics. Apex is a professional line supplement only. And glutathione, again, swoops in like Superman and heals and remedies damage and inflammation. And because this is all a fight to take care of crud before it cruds you up, this is something that I do from a preventative level for my liver. Jennifer says, I really don't know how people cannot supplement these days. Yeah, it's a little surprising to me as well. Not all supplements need to be forever, but some can be short-term, and all of these immune supplements we're talking about today are a little more of a short-term, November through February kind of supplement, all right? So the glutathione, in here we also have a precursor of glutathione, which means when you take it into the body, you can make more glutathione yourself, which is called NAC. And I've been doing half a syringe twice a day right here. And that's just been my protocol, all right? Now, I just, last night, started getting sniffles. So my protocol today is changing from prevention into full out armor up, all right? So I'll be probably taking one full syringe twice a day, starting from today, all right? That's my first one. Okay, glutathione. Second supplement is, again, more towards the supplements that go into prevention care. So mycommunity is one of my favorite immune supplements. It's 17 medicinal mushrooms that go into this. All right, so we're not talking about the mushrooms in your pasta. We're talking about medicinal mushrooms. All right. Now, when you go into mushroom care, there's a few things I think that are really important to note. Is that mushrooms are kind of like giant filters, right? And so you really want to get organic when you go mushrooms. Because they really pick up and get any kind of chemicals or pathogen or any kind of, soil debris. It's just you really want to have a good environment for growing and harvesting your mushrooms from. So this is what I was doing for myself before I even got sick. And right now I don't even know if I'm sick. I know I'm struggling, which is why my voice is a little bit, a little cricky, all right? But when it comes to immunity, you really want to be safe before you're super sorry, and that's how I did it. And so most of my patients went through my triple threat starting in November, and right now they're probably on their third bottle of supplements right now. All right, so I was taking about 2 of these a day. I'm going to probably pop that up to 4 a day right now because I am on the verge. And this has really amazing, delicious things. It's got chaga mushroom, maitake, reishi mushrooms, cordyceps, turkey's tail, lion's mane, Oregon reishi, so a lot of really cool stuff in here. And a lot of my patients have told me this year that they usually get sick and they haven't yet. So I'm gonna blame it on this guy right here. Okay, so last in my triple threat is what I take when things really go under. So this is a product from Standard Process. Standard Process is another company that is professional brands only. And this is an Echinacea blend. Now, a common myth is that Echinacea is only good for when you get acutely sick, and it's not good to take long term. And that's only true if you're taking one form of Echinacea. So in here, there's 2. There's an Echinacea augustifolia and Echinacea proposa. So most cheaper brands of Echinacea, if you have some at home, just go look at the bottle, they have the second one, the Echinacea proposa. And that one is true. You really only want to take it when you get acutely sick and not long term. But augustifolia is kind of the more expensive kind of Echinacea. And because this one is a blend of the 2, it can be taken long term as well. So I wasn't taking this beforehand, and now that I am on the verge of maybe immune challenge, I am starting to hit this really, really hard. I'll probably be taking 4 to 8 tonight, probably more towards the 8 because I just think, more is better than less at this point, because it can really either cut your cold in mid-sentence, or it can lessen the duration or the severity of your cold, which is a blessing. So that is my triple threat. Usually when winter comes along in November, I have my patients start on the mycommunity mushroom complex, and I have them do that for about a month. and then I have them go into glutathione, and then I have them go into the Echinacea. So that is what I'll be doing tonight. Thank you all for listening. If any of you want to go and get some of these immune supplements, just drop me a PM and I'll let you know how to get them. All right? This is Dr. Rachel, and thank you for listening to my immune protocol. Have a happy day. Bye.